Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about finding midpoints of a straight line. But before we go into the main use of the formula, let's just have a look at line CD and AB. Now if you look at line CD is lying horizontal, and you will notice that the length of that line CD is 6 units. If you count the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's going to be 6 units. So if I say what is the midpoint, obviously you will say it is 3 units from either end from C and D. So you will say the midpoint is over here, and that is the midpoint there. So that was pretty straightforward because it is lying on a straight, it's a horizontal, and you can see that 3 units from other side, that is kind of the midpoint. But when I look at line AB, a line AB is slanting. So what I can look at here is I can look at if I can form a right angle triangle very, very quickly over here, you will notice that that distance there, that is 8 units that way. This pen is too thick. Okay, let's try this again. 8 units that way, and this way it is 4 units there. And if we look at the straight line over here, the halfway mark is going to be at that point, and if I go straight up, that is going to be there. Okay, let's try this again. So I've lost it. So the halfway mark, that is 8 units there. And if I just draw, oh, it's come back somehow. So that is the 8 units there. And if you look at this, the vertical line, and that is 4 units long, and the halfway mark for that vertical line is here. And if I extend that way, that gives me the halfway mark on that line there. So this point over here is the point where these two lines act, is going to be the midpoint. So the question now is, my writing is hopeless. Let's try this again. So you will now say to me that for this over here, to work out the midpoint of this particular line AB, it is going to be for the x values, right? Whatever the x values are, it is going to be halfway for the x values if we add the x values together. And if we look at y values over here, it is the halfway from there. So let's say that point over here, A, is, let's make this to be 0, 2, and then we'll make this point over here to be 8, 6. Okay, so now we can say that this point over here, midpoint, is going to be halfway mark from 0 to 8, which is going to be 4, and then from 2 to 6. So the halfway mark from 2 to 6 is going to be at 4. So the midpoint for this particular line is 4, 4. Now, most of the time, you will be given a question to basically figure out. The lines will be given to you either in, the points of the lines will be given to you in terms of coordinates, or it will be drawn on an XY axis like the one that I'm going to draw now. So let's say this point over here is, I'm going to do this as 2, 1. Let's label this as A. And the other one I'm going to do is 6, 5. let's go and do this over here. This point B, and that is going to be 6, 5. So, and if I just draw this line now, I want to actually, oh, that is not good. I want to draw, I'll try this again. I'm not having much luck. So you will notice now that I have got the line there, which is line AB, and I want to find the midpoint of this line. So if I look at the midpoint over here, so let's just go and draw this over here. Like that. I form a right angle triangle, and I look at the halfway mark between these 2 points over here, 2 and 6, and the halfway mark is here, and I go straight up, and I look at halfway mark between 5 and 1, and then I go straight there, and that gives me the midpoint here. And so that midpoint is 4, 3. Hey, but most of the time the diagram won't be given to you. You will be just given the coordinates, and you'll be asked to work out what is the midpoint. So if you have a look here, what I have done is to find the midpoint. If you look at that midpoint, I have taken the x value 6 and 2, I've got 6 plus 2, and then I found the halfway mark between those two values. And then I've done the same for the y. 5, 5 and 1. 5 plus 1 divided by 2. And what you notice is that 6 plus 2 is 8. And 5 plus 1 is 6. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And the midpoint for that particular line AB is 4, 3. So we'd say, so we basically, when you talk about midpoints, sorry, I'll say that again. So midpoint, okay, we'll try again. Midpoint line AB is equal to 4, 3. Now, we can actually write this in a more general way. So in general, if a line is defined by sorry, we'll just say not defined by, we'll just go and say in general, if a line is joined by 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2, then the midpoint is given by x1 plus x2 divided by 2 plus, sorry, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So that is the rule that you need to learn. This one over here. You need to know this rule so that you are able to work out the midpoints of midpoint of a given line. Okay, let's just go and do one example here. An example that I'm going to look at is an example over here is calculate the midpoint what happened here? Calculate the midpoint of a line joined by 2 points A 6, 5 and B -2, -3. Okay, so what we'll do is in this case we will go and assign say this is x1, y1, and this one over here is x2, y2. So the midpoint of line AB is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So I'm going to substitute those values. So I've got 6 plus -2 divided by 2, 5 plus -3 divided by 2. So 6 plus -2 gives me 4 divided by 2, 5 plus -3 gives me 2 divided by 2. And so this will give me 2, 1. So the midpoint of line AB is at 2, 1. Thank you.